please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live. Hey everybody. So the trades keep coming in the NHL, and today we've got a very interesting one between the Minnesota Wild and the Buffalo Sabres. It's a one-for-one deal, sending Marcus Johansson to the Minnesota Wild in exchange for Eric Staal going back to Buffalo. So pretty big deal here. Before I fully get into my full thoughts on it, I just ask that you please hit that subscribe button if you are new and give this video a thumbs up. Both those things really help the channel. But let's talk about this, because this is a head scratcher for me, at least at first. I mean, it just happened. Just at first thought, though, I do not understand this move from a Minnesota Wild standpoint. Now, yes, Marcus Johansson is younger. He is 29, whereas Eric Staal is 35. However, Eric Staal had 47 points last season. Marcus Johansson only had 30. Marcus Johansson had 30 year before. Eric Staal had 52 the year before. Eric Staal is getting paid less than Marcus Johansson. They both have 1 year remaining on their contract. Staal makes $3.25 million per year. Marcus Johansson's making $4.5. I just don't get this deal from a Minnesota Wild standpoint at all. Like, what are they doing here? Eric Staal was one of your top scorers last season. And I get that he's 35, and I get that he's older, but he was one of your best offensive players last year on a team that is starved for offense and doesn't have a lot of high-end talent. Eric Staal was one of your best offensive players, and you trade him away for a guy who is basically a third liner, who has had 30 points per season each of the past 2 years, has struggled with concussions, has had other injury issues, is a guy who's not really going to replace Staal as a center because Johansson's played wing for a large majority of his career. Johansson is not very good when you try and play him in the middle. He's played wing for a large majority of his career, and he's much better on the wing. So you're not really replacing that center spot. He costs over $1 million more over $1 million more per year in salary. I'm so confused here as to what Bill Guerin was trying to accomplish with this move. Like, I would understand if he was trying to cap dump Eric Staal or something like that, or trying to, free up cap space for a bigger move down the line. But, like, what? Like, Eric Staal makes less money than Marcus Johansson. You are moving yourself closer to the cap ceiling here with this move. You're getting a worse player. This is a downgrade for Minnesota, at least in a one-for-one stance. This is a downgrade for the Minnesota Wild, and a huge upgrade for the Buffalo Sabres. And that's now I want to go over to the Buffalo side of things. If I am a Sabres fan here, I am ecstatic about this move. Marcus Johansson did not bring much to the table. He hasn't in recent years in the NHL. Marcus Johansson has not been the player that he was early in his career. Like we said, only 30 points last year. He's a third liner. You now bring in Eric Staal, who, yes, is older, much older, at 35 years old, and definitely getting into the twilight years of his career. But you bring in Eric Staal, someone who had almost 50 points last season, and still, I think, can be a 50-point player in the NHL, can now come in and center your second line. And that was a huge issue. Center depth is a huge issue for the Buffalo Sabres. This helps them out a ton, because now Staal can come in and play center on that second line. That allows you to play Sam Reinhart, Jack Eichel, and Victor Olofsson as your top line. You now have Staal as your second line center. You can put Jeff Skinner on the wing with Staal, or you could switch Olofsson and Skinner and put Olofsson with Staal and put Skinner up with Eichel, because he had a brutal season last year and needs to be significantly better this coming season. You've got to get him going. But now you have options, and you have two legit offensive lines now. You have two legit lines of offense now with Eric Staal added in to this lineup. And it's on top of that, You have brought in a veteran, a leader, somebody who's been in the league for a long time, has been a star player in the NHL, somebody who can mentor Jack Eichel and be a huge locker room presence on that team, and a guy who Jack Eichel can look to and lean on, who has been there, who has been that franchise guy early in his career with the Carolina Hurricanes, and has been to the playoffs, and has won a Stanley Cup all the way back in 2006, but he's won a Stanley Cup. You now have that veteran leadership role directly there for Jack Eichel, same position, right in that locker room. If I were the Buffalo Sabres, I would put Eric Staal's locker right next to Jack Eichel's in that locker room. I'd put it right next to it. And that is a great leadership move for the Buffalo Sabres. It's a great to bring in a veteran guy like that who has seen everything, who has been through the ups and downs of the NHL, who has been a star player in the NHL, and is now on the back end of their career, but can mentor and teach already an absolute superstar in Jack Eichel, and your best player without a doubt. For Buffalo, this move is a home run. An absolute home run for the Buffalo Sabres. For the Minnesota Wild, I don't understand it at all. Maybe there's some bigger plan here with Bill Guerin. Maybe he's making a move for another center and just wanted to move Staal out. And thinks Johansson maybe playing in a new lineup could pick up the offense again. Maybe there's a bigger grand plan here for Minnesota. And, the Wild are a team I expect to be making a lot of moves this offseason, and I do not think are done. But at face value, this trade just by itself, putting the blinders on to everything else going on, and just looking at this trade as a 1-for-1, Eric Staal for Marcus Johansson, I don't understand this at all for Minnesota. They get a downgrade of a player who costs more money per year. I don't understand that. The only upside is he's slightly younger. But other than that, this seems like a huge win for Buffalo. Now, I'm not going to rip Guerin to shreds about this because, like I said, we don't know the grand plan here. Maybe there's more moves in the future. Maybe Minnesota's going to go after a big young center. Maybe they're going to go after an RFA type player. I don't see Matt Barzal leaving the Islanders, but Max Domi is a possibility. Max Domi is a player that there's been a lot of talk about. He's an RFA this year, either getting traded or getting offer sheeted. He's probably not going to be back with Montreal. Maybe that's a move. Maybe this is opening up a center slot for Max Domi, and they wanted a winger in Marcus Johansson back in return. Maybe there is a grand plan here, and if there's a bigger, grander plan here, then this move maybe down the road could make sense more for Minnesota than what it does right now at face value. But looking at this move, 1-for-1, I love it for Buffalo. I think this is a fantastic move for them for so many different reasons. They have a legitimate second-line center now. They have someone who can mentor and teach and just be a leader with Jack Eichel and for Jack Eichel. And I think it makes all the sense in the world for the Buffalo Sabres to do this. But that's my thoughts firsthand here. As this trade is happening, my initial reaction to it. We'll see what Minnesota does down the line. Maybe this move was just a setup to do something bigger and even more transformative for the team in the lineup down the line, and then maybe this could make sense. But right now, I'm a little confused as to what Bill Guerin was doing with this move. But we'll see as the rest of the offseason rolls on where the Wild go from here. And with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, our donation link, Patreon, and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you so much for watching. Really, really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.